It's breaking news with your boy, Mike Oliver. What a strange week hearing last week as Scott Drake's wife had an affair with a conman who tried to scam our government 2 times, and Donald Trump going behind our president's back this week, and now they're both dead. And we all know it's probably a setup, as President Scott Drake has got to be behind it all on the 2 deaths of Mrs. Drake and Donald Trump. And now, let's go now to our reporter Sid outside the Red House. Sid, how do you feel on this amazing news that Donald Trump has died, and it was more likely it was to do with the President Scott Drake was responsible on the deaths of Mrs. Drake, his ex-wife, and also Donald Trump? It's 8% true that Scott Drake was probably responsible for the killings of Mrs. Drake and Donald Trump, and I am so happy now that Trump isn't alive anymore after the way he treated us people like slaves and wanted us to go and leave our families behind and go to war with Russia. And that almost happened, but thankfully he resigned on Christmas Day and put behind bars for 6 months later by bribing our government to think that the Red House needs to work on. And while it was actually a wedding was actually held with Mrs. RSE at the time, and then they both got arrested for it and then put in prison for 2 years and then got released and then secretly crawled back to the government as he was manipulating our president. And then what happened recently? He's now gone dead. Good riddance for that. After 4 years of bullying our government, and to think that he's a changed man after being released in February, I don't think so. Thank you, Sid. That's all we have time for here today, Mike Oliver, and we'll see you next week with some more breaking news for the last time until we wrap up for the summer. Goodbye.